And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the dirt. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Anthony Rose.
What up, Doe?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What do we do?
We get the people what they want.
Do you remember a couple weeks ago when Kevin Durant just hit the world with a glorious pregame dance that he had? One of my favorite Kevin Durant moments that had nothing to do with him scoring buckets. Well, now he has a new dance. While Stephen Curry was doing his warm-up layup, Kevin Durant dropped this on us. He dropped the wide arm. I don't even know what to call it, but I like it. I love it. Jalen Rose, do you think that Kevin Durant will continue to provide the world with new dances as the season goes on?
Absolutely. He's just having fun, but also quiet as Kevin, just warming up all of his limbs, really.
Okay, is that what it is?
And also, young people, the only time success comes before work is in the dictionary. Steph Curry continues to do so. Put in that necessary time. Out there working on his game, his handles, his shot from range, and there's no accident he's become one of the top players in the whole league.
Well, someone who wasn't working that hard in the last few days.
Me.
It's about to change. Eric Bledsoe's vacation is over. Eric Bledsoe's been traded to the Bucks for Greg Monroe, a first-round pick that's semi-protected, a second-round pick, and other considerations. Jalen, do you think that this changes the power structure of the Eastern Conference?
It doesn't change the power structure, but it makes it more intriguing. The pecking order is still going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. Once they get Isaiah Thomas back, the Boston Celtics have been terrific, led by Kyrie Irving. Coincidentally, while we talk about the greatness of Kyrie, remember, the Boston Celtics were a number one seed without him last year. That's how good a job that Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge have done. Who, by the way, don't sleep on Danny Ainge, who traded the number one pick, Markelle Fultz, and he is injured. Traded Isaiah Thomas, and he is injured. But here's what also happens. It creates three teams now. The Washington Wizards, Toronto Raptors, the Milwaukee Bucks are now in their class. And I like the toughness of Brogdon and Bledsoe playing together, coming off with Dellavedova at different points of the game. And obviously, they have a high-level performer in the Greek Freak who's going to be in the MVP conversation, the shooting of Middleton. I really like with the squad that I've affectionately called for a handful of years, Team
Futuristic.
They just continue to get better, led by Coach Jason Kidd.
As they do. If you look at that starting five that you mentioned, you move Brogdon over to the 2, so you get Bledsoe, Brogdon, Middleton, Thon Maker, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I believe Thon Maker will develop into the player that we all wanted him to be, and that is a pretty impressive starting five. Not the deepest team in the East, but I probably wouldn't pick this team, not really having seen it yet, I wouldn't pick this team to beat the Wizards or the Raptors or the Celtics or the Cavs in a 7-game series. But I would certainly give them a chance to do so. They are in that group below the Celtics and the Cavs in the Eastern Conference that can challenge to win the Eastern Conference and then lose in the finals to the Warriors.
Well, let me tell you who isn't in any group in either conference. The Phoenix Suns. They didn't get true value in return at all.
I mean, if you look at the Bucks gave up Greg Monroe, a player they were not using, and 2 players that don't exist for Eric Bledsoe, who averages 20 and 6. I would do that 100 times out of 100. And another thing you get that no one's really talking about, Eric Bledsoe's a veteran. And one of the things about the Bucks is they were just young. And when you've got a veteran with the basketball, a natural leadership position on the floor, you got Jason Kidd, he likes to work with point guards. That is an angle to this that I really like, them having someone who's just been around a little bit, especially when you get into a playoff series.
I'm going to give you an angle that becomes tricky in professional sports. We saw it play out in a different way with the Pittsburgh Steelers, because when a wide receiver comes out and says, I'm unhappy with the number of touches that I'm getting, and then all of a sudden he gets demoted to the practice squad. And then Juju also has a big game. We forget about that guy. When Eric Bledsoe sends a tweet and says he doesn't like it here, you now open a can of worms as an organization that when people are unhappy, is this all they have to do to get out of town? Yep. Because they didn't get true value in return, and all he did was send a tweet that wasn't vulgar at all. So I'm going to pay attention now in sports if more players now express their unhappiness via social media and see what kind of stance organizations are now going to take.
Well, Jalen, I'm glad you mentioned social media because that is a perfect transition for our next topic. It is time for Socially Awkward. LeBron James took to Instagram to post this meme from the cartoon Arthur with the caption, "Mood." Jalen, I'm about to fix my lips and use a word that it's one of the worst words that I can use about something. I think this is super corny. Like, I just think this is so corny. Like, why would a grown man who's got bald hair and 3 kids use a cartoon meme to express his mood? Not only a cartoon meme that at this point is pretty much played out. What do you think of LeBron's post?
I love this segment called Socially Awkward because that's exactly what this is. LeBron understands how to troll us with cryptic tweets and leave us to try to dissect what another man is thinking, which none of us can truly do. But I'm going to pull you guys behind the curtain and give you a snapshot that I didn't see anybody put on wax, that I believe may have been the catalyst to the actual message.
Ooh, okay. Talk to me.
There are a lot of people acknowledging this is right 5 minutes or so after Kyrie Irving put up a big-time game against the Atlanta Hawks, shut them down 30-plus, 10-plus
9 straight
dimes.
for the Celtics.
No doubt about it. But I'll give you a different way to look at this. Eric Bledsoe got traded.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James and his agent are brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Rich Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And when we find out about a deal in the morning, that means it usually happened and or was discussed the night before.
I like this.
For whatever it's worth, LeBron did miss practice on Tuesday for personal reasons. We don't know why that is. He is going to play in the game. So
Could be
maybe
anything.
he was upset that Bledsoe was being moved, but not being moved to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who could use help at the point guard position with Isaiah Thomas out. How about that?
And the Cavs have the Brooklyn pick. I don't think the Suns traded for Greg Monroe. Something tells me the Suns traded for those picks. Jalen Rose, I have really good news. The people at Hidden Valley, for the holidays, looking at Thanksgiving, they've decided to bestow upon our species a product that we have all been waiting for. They are releasing, wait for it, a keg of ranch dressing. You get, for only $50, you get this almost 10-inch tall keg full of 5 liters of ranch dressing. Why has it taken so long for us to start putting ranch in kegs?
That's too much.
No, it's not. $50 is great value. That's great value. Like, how much does a normal bottle of ranch cost? Like $7? And you're going to get 5 liters of it for $50? I want one. I want one all the time. We're getting one for the show. It's going to be our 3rd host. It's going to be Jalen Jacoby in the ranch keg. You know what I'm going to do, Jalen? I'm going to do ranch keg stands all day. In between each segment, I'm just going to do a ranch keg stand. You'll be there helping me out with the ranch keg stand. I need more ranch in my life. I'm going to get a ranch IV just to sit next to me during the entire program. I'm dipping everything in ranch. I'm putting ranch in my coffee. I'm putting ranch in my cereal. I need this keg. Please, Jalen Rose, can we have the ranch keg be the 3rd host of our program?
It's too much.
What do you mean too much?
Too much.
Is there such thing as too much ranch?
Yes, you just described it.
No.
It's almost like this. There's one thing to have like a 6-pack. Then it became like a deuce. Then it became like a 40-ounce. When it became 64 ounces, it was just too much.
It does. 64 ounces, I tried those. They get really flat and gross at the end.
Correct.
It just takes too long to drink. But here's the thing.
That's the exact same thing that comes with the ranch.
The ranch keg, if you're worried about that, they have addressed that at Hidden Valley. The ranch keg has a special coating that keeps your ranch fresh inside. All right, well, the days that you're not here, it'll be Jacoby and the ranch keg. Next, LiAngelo, Jello, Mr. Ball, LiAngelo.
And the possible.
The possible, what we call LiAngelo, was in China with UCLA and his teammates and a Georgia Tech team, and all of a sudden 20 police officers showed up at the hotel. Those 20 police officers sequestered the players in rooms, wouldn't allow them to talk to coaches. They meant business. And when it all was said and done, LiAngelo and 2 of his teammates were put into squad cars and charged with shoplifting. We don't have too many details right now as we tape this, but one thing we do know is LiAngelo Ball, a gentleman named Cody Riley, and a third person named Jalen Hill. Jalen, what are the chances that this was all Jalen's idea?
100%.
It was definitely Jalen's idea. You know right now in Chinese jail, Cody and LiAngelo are rolling over on Jalen, just singing like a bird about Jalen. This was all Jalen's idea. I didn't even know Jalen was going to do this. There's always a Jalen involved when something like this happens, isn't there, Jalen?
I blame my mother. Like, people give me credit for the name Jalen. I didn't do anything. It's just become a part of the popular lexicon. And in all honesty, seriously, fellas, you're in college. You're in another country. It's one thing to try to jump out of a cab and run. It's another thing to think you're going to shoplift and get away with it. Come on now.
Today's day and age, here's the thing. That's what high school is for. High school is for getting caught shoplifting. College is for getting caught doing other things that I won't mention. Let's move on before I get fired. On a flight, a married couple with a child were sitting on the plane. What do you do whenever you get on a plane, Jalen Rose?
Sleep.
The guy falls asleep. Using his thumbprint, his wife unlocks his phone while he is sleeping, discovers that he has been having an affair. She freaks out to the point where they had to land the plane somewhere else to let them off. First of all, if that was my wife, I would probably never wake up. Second of all, does using the sleeping husband's thumbprint to unlock the phone, is that the greatest move in the history of philandering?
It's not a great move.
I like it.
It's a boss move.
It's a boss move. It's a boss move.
No question about it. And let me tell you what's executive level on the Woman Crush Wednesday. Y'all about to let us off this plane. I ain't going nowhere with him right now.
Yes, you need to stop. I'm getting off at the next stop. Just like on the bus pulling that wire. Like, I don't care where you have to land it, but I can spend no more time around this man. And you know she took the kid too. And she got a hotel room in India when they landed, and she didn't pick up her phone or anything. Here's another thing to consider, Jalen Rose. iPhone 10 is out. You don't need the thumb anymore. You just take the phone and point it at the sleeping guy's face, and you're in. You can upgrade to the 10?
It took me a while to finally get wireless earbuds. I just got them over the weekend.
Oh, I love those.
They're awesome.
I love those.
See, I'm that dude that was like, I ain't about to allow Apple to get all of my money. I'm not going to have the computer, the phone, multiple earpieces, and multiple devices. So I'm like, I'm going to spread it around. I'm a cricket guy, first and foremost. Let me say that on wax. I'm a cricket guy.
Jalen.
But with that being said, you didn't tell me how the wireless buds have helped my life.
Oh, it's great. I did tell you, actually, multiple times I told you, but here's another thing. We're going to keep track of those wireless, because here's what. You're going to lose them in like 4 days.
I almost lost
promise
it on
they're
the
not making it to Monday. They're not making it to Monday. I know you, Jalen.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Well, Reggie's back.
He is. And we're really happy that he is.
He heard the podcast yesterday, yet all day long, I have not heard a retort to our accusation that perhaps a flat tire doesn't mean that you missed an entire day. I haven't heard him say anything. Did he text you or something, Jalen? He explained anything to you about what happened yesterday?
Nah.
Or why it was a 7-hour flat tire?
Nah. No.
All right, well, we're going to give the people what they want. Part of giving people what they want is opening up our voicemail line. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us voicemails. We'll play them on the show. But before we do, Jalen, it's Tuesday. What does that mean?
We give the people, especially the ladies, what they want.
Woman Crush Wednesday is tomorrow. So, ladies, make sure you call in and leave your voicemails. We will play them on the show just like this.
Yo, what's good, boys? This is Tom from Philly. Just wanted to call and mention two things to you real quick. Number one, Reg, I woke up Monday morning with a flat tire as well. And Jalen and Jacoby were giving you a lot of flack for not getting to the office. I'll tell you what, you got to call AAA, get away from you to get there. They put the spare on for you. You're not supposed to drive fast with the spare. You're not supposed to drive far with the spare. So you drive over to the auto shop to get that tire patched up. I was there. They told me it'd take an hour. Turns out they couldn't patch the tire. Turns out they didn't have another tire to put on. I don't get my car back until Tuesday. So, Reg, I feel your pain, and I don't think you should be the only one accountable for that. Secondly, I had a caller last week who was giving out his Netflix account info. That way, Reg and anybody else who needs to see Paid in Full could watch Paid in Full. I sadly to say I've never seen Paid in Full, so this weekend I was excited. I got on my own Netflix, going to look for Paid in Full to sit down and watch it, and it's not even on Netflix. That's a soft move, my man. Sorry about that. Shout out the whole crew. Shout out Matthias. Shout out Finger Roll Jones. Shout out Big Crown. Those producers. Love them, man. Keep giving people what they want. Later, boys.
We're going to give Tom what he wants. Tom, if you have cable, Stars On Demand got your Paid in Full that you need.
Yes, indeed.
You can always just use the search function. Don't be afraid to push guide, push B, search function. You can find whatever you need using the search function on your cable provider. If you don't have cable, you need to get cable so you can watch the second handsomest duo at ESPN, Jalen and Jacoby.
Behind Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser. They got us beat.
Secondly, I'm going to have to start screening these calls, Jalen. Because, you know what? The first call is about Reggie getting to work. That's the first. Do you know when Eric Bledsoe just got traded? The Cleveland Cavaliers are sub 500. The Celtics won 9 games in a row. Then what are we talking about? Reggie's flat tire. The Lions just won in Green Bay on Monday night. And what are we talking about? Reggie's flat tire. Because this is, usually we have, I mean, you're not involved, Jalen, but we have production meetings.
Yeah,
we go
involved.
through the show. We pick what topics are worthy. We debate what's going to lead to the best conversations. But we don't do that with the voicemails. We trust Reggie to select them. Starting to lose my trust. Starting to lose my trust. Let's listen to the next voicemail that Reggie selected. If it's about Reggie, I'm leaving the show.
Jalen and Jacoby, what up? Reg, hopefully you back. This is Joel. I'm from Jersey. I got a hot take for both of you guys. And it doesn't go well with a lot of people, what I'm about to say. It usually causes an uproar. But for me personally, I love hip-hop, but I think Tupac was kind of whack. Like, I love what he did for the culture. He means a lot. As far as rap skills, they weren't that good, especially compared to his peers like Hov, Nas, M, Big, of course. He wasn't even in their league, man. Love Tupac. Had some great songs, can't doubt that. But now that I listen to him, kind of trash. Gotta admit it. Let me know what both of you guys think. Keep giving the people what they want.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate the love.
Shout out.
I think his East Coast, West Coast bias is showing up here.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you, Joel just called. He's probably around my age. He's probably north of 34. So he was probably right around 1994, 95, 96. He was probably really into Bad Boy. You know, Mace, Black Rob, and Biggie, and Puff, and that whole movement that was happening. Then all of a sudden, the Death Row Bad Boy thing happened. It was very divisive. in hip-hop, and you felt like you had to choose a side. But let me just explain it like this. Joel thinks Tupac is trash, right? That's his opinion. I don't think Tupac is trash, but I'll explain it like this. I don't like tomatoes. I don't like tomatoes in my salads. I don't like tomatoes in my sandwich.
I like what you're doing here.
That doesn't mean that tomatoes are trash. That doesn't mean that tomatoes should be banished from all plates and all dishes everywhere. It just means it's not my personal taste. I also feel the same way about Tupac. It's just not my personal taste. I respect him as an artist. I respect him as an actor. I respect him for the lyrical content that he provided, certain songs that are very conscious. I respect him for all of that. But when I get into my car and when I turn on the radio and I control what's being played, you're not going to hear Tupac. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. But I feel, but that doesn't mean that someone else can't like Tupac. That doesn't mean Tupac's not a great rapper. It just means that, to me personally, not what I want to hear.
So first off, let me just say this. I hope this is the ultimate level of respect that I want to pay to the legend, Tupac Amari Shakur. You and our caller, y'all should not be allowed to talk about rap music ever again.
See, that's the thing. That's what I don't like about these barbershop conversations. Is you need to respect other people's opinions and tastes.
I don't respect your opinion if you have anything negative to say about Tupac Shakur, including you.
That's fine.
I hear you over there mumbling.
That's fine. Us not respecting each other's opinions is kind of the foundation of this program, Jalen Rose. We kind of built 6 years on that. You know, that's kind of how this works. If we all just agreed with each other all the time, that's not how it would be. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. When I've been hanging out with you a lot in the Uber. When you got the aux cable, don't hear a lot of Tupac.
First and foremost,
don't hear a lot of Tupac.
You don't hear me playing any rap music. That's not accurate.
Okay.
So you're lying to the people right now. Number one. Number two, I'm not going to even continue this conversation. And by the way, he was a better actor than he was a rapper. Yep. And he's an all-time great GOAT rapper. I'm not even going to... You know what? There's going to be a time when I'm 150 years old. I might need these breaths. I'm not about to waste them about people that don't defend Tupac Shakur. I'm not going to do it. It's just insane. Now, let me just say this.
I thought you weren't going to waste the breaths. I thought I was ready to move on.
I did listen to that new Woo this weekend, and it's dope. I love that new Woo. You got to grab that new Woo if you ain't heard it out there.
I told you off wax, Jim. I'm telling you now. If you ever see me not listening to the new Wu-Tang, feel free to just remind me to listen to the Wu-Tang.
So if you're listening to this program, make sure you at Raekwon, Meth, and the whole crew, and Ghostface, just let them know we big up in the Wu and their new project on this program.
It's called The Saga Continues. If you ever enjoyed a Wu-Tang album, you will enjoy this album. It's got the kung fu skits. It's got the bars from all of your favorites. It's got a Sean Price verse. There's a Sean Price verse on it. And it's
Redman.
It's not just like some old Sean Price verse where they just happen to find somewhere he drops a Wu-Tang lyric in it. Redman's on 3 songs. Method Man's all over it. Not as much Jizza as I would like, but maybe he wasn't available. You never know. You never know. A lot of personalities. Hard to keep 8 personalities together. Dr. Rose is in his office, and I am in a straitjacket, and that means it is time for Am I Crazy? No matter what's happened thus far in the season, I'm still positive that the Cleveland Cavaliers are the best team in the Eastern Conference. Am I crazy?
Absolutely not. Here's the thing. You lose a 25-5 guy in Kyrie who's tearing it up with the number 1 seeded Celtics. You replace him with, oh, that's right, Isaiah Thomas isn't healthy yet. They're going to be just fine. What this should do for everybody is remind people just how good Isaiah Thomas is at basketball. He was dominant last year. Once he gets back, the Cavs will be just fine. LeBron put up a 57-point game this year. He's actually added some things, turning over both shoulders in the post. I love his demeanor out there on the floor. rim protection is still going to be an issue, especially with Tristan Thompson either injured or not in the game. But you're not crazy. The Cavs still will win the Eastern Conference.
Thank you, Dr. Rose. That makes me feel much better. I have another thing. I think in 2 years, everyone's going to go back to wearing baggy jeans like it's 1998 again. Am I crazy?
You're crazy.
What?
That's not going to happen. I don't think that toothpaste is getting back in the tube in the era of not only custom fits, but sometimes where men, I guess, have to lay on the bed to put on their pants. It seems like that's something that's being enjoyed. Jay said it best.
Shout out.
Can't wear skinny jeans because my knots don't fit.
Dr. Rose, I had a vision. I saw it. It came to me. And in that vision was Matt Stafford throwing an interception leading to the Lions not making the playoffs. The Lions will not make the playoffs. Am I crazy? Dr. Rose, are you okay?
You're insane.
Dr. Rose, let's not use words like that here in this environment.
Here's the deal. I put this on wax for the first time in my life before the season started. And I specifically said the Detroit Lions would
win the conference that they're currently losing by 2 games to the Minnesota Vikings, who will ultimately win the conference.
I said they were going to win the division.
I'm sorry.
And therefore, that's going to put the squad into the playoffs. And also, I saw their ownership talked about doing some things for the community if the players chose not to take a knee during the protest. And Amir Abdullah, one of those players, did the raised fist during the anthem. I have something that the Lions can do. Support the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy, a tuition-free public charter high school to get 0 state funding that is in your community. Please consider.
Dr. Rose?
Yes.
Of all the rookies, I feel like Jason Tatum is going to have the best NBA career. Am I crazy?
I want to introduce you to Ben Simmons when you get an opportunity. I don't know if you ever met him before. Have you ever met him?
Bill Simmons' son, Ben, he's a great flag football player.
Shout out.
But here's the bigger deal. Ben Simmons, Kuzma, Malik Monk. The bottom line is I could name 9 rookies right now.
Donovan Mitchell, Lauri Markkanen, lots of them out there.
That are playing better basketball. Dennis Smith Jr. That are playing better basketball than Lonzo is with the Lakers. Josh Jackson.
Jalen, I get this feeling that we're going to be inundated with Michael Jordan versus LeBron James conversations and topics and writings and columns and documentaries for basically the rest of our lives, and we can't just accept the fact that they're 2 great players that dominated their era. Am I crazy?
You're crazy. I understand the troll tactic that takes on when you want to have that debate. It's almost like walking in the barbershop like, who better between Biggie and Pop? And you just want to get an uproar of the crowd. But this is respectfully not a comparison. Michael Jordan is considered the GOAT for a reason. You don't just lose that. Somebody doesn't just take that from you. It's not a debate.
Oh, LeBron James is the best player of all time. That's what you mean, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rose. I feel much better after this session.
I'll feel much better is when this program ends, you keep that jacket on.
Don't forget, ladies, call 985-80-JALEN. Leave us some voicemails.
Ladies.
We'll be back tomorrow as we are every single day, leaving you a dope pod to step to. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Nickel Package Podcast.
We're not done. We're not done.